will lead with the big Facebook antitrust lawsuits.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Progressive Insurance, protecting small businesses with specialized coverages for commercial vehicles. More at progressivecommercial.com. And by Avalara, simplifying sales tax compliance with cloud-based solutions. Avalara automatically integrates with more than 700 of the most widely used ERP and e-commerce solutions. Avalara, tax compliance done right.
I'm David Brancaccio. Facebook is pushing back against two sweeping lawsuits alleging the media and advertising company has acquired an illegal amount of marketplace power, that is to say, is a monopoly. The Federal Trade Commission and a coalition of 46 states filed these cases yesterday. Here's Marketplace's Nova Safo.
The lawsuits allege Facebook built up its market dominance by gobbling up small rivals it saw as a threat, and that dominance has harmed consumers' privacy and choices. Authorities are seeking remedies such as potentially spinning off WhatsApp and Instagram, which Facebook acquired less than a decade ago. Facebook's response? Those acquisitions were approved by the very same FTC that is now suing. The company says should these lawsuits prevail, they would signal that no corporate acquisition is ever final. The accusations against Facebook are similar to those levied by a House antitrust panel in a report released 2 months ago, and there is bipartisan pressure on big tech from lawmakers and regulators. Google is also facing antitrust scrutiny from a Justice Department lawsuit filed in October. I'm Nova Safo for Marketplace.
Facebook stock fell nearly 2% yesterday and is down another 1% in pre-market trading now. We're also talking today to an antitrust expert about the likelihood that Facebook actually gets the old AT&T treatment broken into bits. Marketplace Morning Report podcast feed if you missed that on the air. Now to Google and Amazon in some hot water today in France involving little pieces of tracking data that follow people's browsing on the web. They're called cookies. Here's the BBC's Hugh Schofield in Paris.
The placing of cookies on computers is permitted if there's informed consent by the computer user. But the French regulator found that this was not the case in dealings with Amazon and Google. It said the companies had placed advertising cookies automatically on computers without getting prior agreement, and that the information they provided to users was inadequate. Both Amazon and Google have recently stopped the automatic placing of cookies, but the French regulator found that still there was not enough information available about how to refuse cookies. Both companies dispute the ruling and say they do their best to protect the privacy of Internet users. New EU-wide privacy rules are due to come into effect in the coming months, which will be even tougher on Internet operators, insisting, for example, that they show an easy-to-access Reject All button for cookies, as well as the Accept All, which they currently offer. In Paris, I'm the BBC's Hugh Schofield for Marketplace.
At this juncture, the Dow future is up 50 points, less than 0.2%. The Nasdaq is little change, the future. Although it is not the final approval, the FDA today convenes a panel of independent experts to decide whether to recommend the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID vaccine for release.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Omidyar Network, a social change venture that is reimagining how capitalism should work. Learn more about their efforts to recenter our economy around individuals, community, and societal well-being at omidyar.com. And by GEP, helping transform supply chains with strategy, services, and software, including GEP Smart and GEP Next, AI-based digital procurement and supply chain platforms. And by C3.ai. C3.ai software enables organizations to use artificial intelligence at enterprise scale, solving previously unsolvable business problems. Learn more at C3.ai.
As this banner year for awful wraps up, we can tell you that it was the worst recorded for wildfires in the U.S. Some of you probably can still smell smoke. And fire becomes more likely with climate change leading to drought. The host of our program, Marketplace Tech, Molly Wood, has an ongoing series on the business and technology of trying to adapt to climate change. She finds the real estate industry is starting to see that fire-resistant houses are an opportunity.
In Marin County, California, we found a house that was built specifically to be as fire-resistant as possible in a forested canyon just north of San Francisco. Fanny Hansen is the architect.
And the fire marshal made actually the greatest compliment to me by coming and saying this is the house that it has to be a standard house because of fire resistance.
The only wood in the house is the floors.
Yeah, I created a vanity URL called builtforfiresafety.com.
Thomas Henthorn is the real estate agent who sold the house in fire-prone Northern California, and he said it's a popular selling point.
If there are homes that have fire resistant or fire safety features, that's definitely something that is marketable and something that is a marketing point.
The house in Marin County is a luxury home. It listed at around $4 million. It has an automated sprinkler system, solar panels, and a backup battery to power the house if the lights go out. But Hansen, the architect, says a house better built to withstand fires is easy to replicate for less money.
Because most of the parts are prefabricated. And now in architecture, to really be good, it is a combination of lots of parts. And those parts, if they're economical, the cost get reduced substantially.
And experts say fire resistance could become a selling point not just for houses, but entire housing developments as people keep encroaching on what used to be wildlands.
You cannot build any sort of structure that's going to have total 100% fire proofness against a wildfire event.
Kimiko Barrett is a research and policy analyst for Headwaters Economics. It's a nonpartisan research and policy think tank based in Bozeman, Montana. She says the goal is resiliency so that
when a wildfire does come through, you're buying not only yourself some time to collect your things and evacuate if needed, but also for firefighters to come in and suppress that fire and be very effective with the resources that they have.
not every fire-safe house will have a pool, a sauna, or views of Northern California's famous mountain ranges. But Barrett says steel and cement are going to get a lot more common and can even be built to look like log cabins, just not the kind that go up in flames quite so easily. I'm Molly Wood for Marketplace.
You can hear more from Molly on the Marketplace special, How We Survive. Listen on some local public radio stations or at marketplace.org/climate. I'm David Brancaccio. This is The Morning Report. We're from APM, American Public Media.